Welcome to another episode of Friend Outdoors.
On today's episode, it's early November and the bucks are making rubs and scrapes everywhere. But now they're slowly starting to shift their focus to searching for and chasing every doe that they come across. Now even the bigger bucks are getting into the rutting frenzy that's starting. Right now is the best time to hunt the does because the bucks are going to show up. So today we're hunting a field near a bedding area from an elevated blind. Here's what happens. This 8-point buck shows up with the doe, and there's barely enough camera light to pick up any footage. It's early November, and the buck activity is starting to increase as the bucks begin to search for does. Something at the other end of the field has gotten this buck's attention. This 8-point acts like he wants to come on up into the field, but he's keeping a close eye on that doe. This buck knows something's not quite right. Eventually, this doe exits the field, and of course, this buck's going to follow her down into the timber. A little while later, this young buck enters the field. This young buck works his way around the field, checking the does. As the morning passes by, several deer make their way to the field. I'm just hoping another good buck will show up. Here we have another young buck as he shows up to the field. Watch as he bristles all up and acts like he wants to fight. here you notice these two young bucks make their way over to this scrape underneath this pine tree. Later that evening, this young buck returns to the field to chase some more does around. This young buck can't make up his mind. One minute he's chasing does around the field, and the next minute he decides he wants to feed. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Here's a quick recap and a backstory. I had several pictures and some videos of this buck before season and early season, as this hunt took place in early November. And as I studied the photographs, I was trying to make up my mind if I was going to give this buck a pass or not, if I actually got an opportunity and saw him. So on this particular morning, this was the first time that I saw this buck. And when he showed up in the field with a doe early, I mean, I watched them for a little bit before I could even turn the camera on. There wasn't enough light. But eventually, when I started filming, they started making their way down the left-hand side of the field in my direction. But something caught this buck's eye at the other end of the field. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure if it was the neighbors over on the road beyond or if it was a deer or something. But he acted a little nervous. But eventually, some more does come into the field in front of me, and he started looking at them. But this guy had a real knack of keeping those tree limbs between me and his vitals all the way out through that field. And as he did move between the trees, either he was hurrying or I had bad angles and I couldn't get a shooting opportunity. Eventually, when he did get out there in the field, he was probably 65 yards away, and I wasn't going to take that shot. And he was really focusing on that one doe. So she must have been getting close, and he wasn't going to leave her. So they turned and made their way down the logging road into the timber. I was hoping that eventually they would come back and give me another opportunity, but it didn't happen on this particular day. I did have some more deer, as you saw, and some young bucks coming to the field, so it was pretty exciting. It was a good time. At least we got to see some deer. And I got to lay eyes on that buck, and he was a nice buck. He's a real nice buck for my area, but you can't shoot a great buck if you just shoot them when they're good, so sometimes we got to pass them. Again, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hey, if you did, please hit that thumb up like button. We really appreciate it. Think about subscribing to our channel. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. It just helps our channel to grow. Also on this channel, we got a lot of short videos. Most of these videos are just 15 seconds, a lot of different animals. We really think you'll enjoy it if you get the time. We'd also like to thank our military personnel. Thank you for your service. Now for a preview of an upcoming episode on Friend Outdoor Adventures.